Hi, welcome to the podcast. I am Joe Posnanski, and with me is Michael Shore. Michael, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So we have not done the podcast in a couple of weeks.
Right.
It has been just a little while, short while, and we don't know when this is going to come out. But in the time that since we've last done our podcast, what has happened? What would you call the biggest thing that's happened in the time since we've last done our podcast?
I would say the biggest thing that's happened is that last time we did this, we announced a new taxonomical arrangement for different sized baseball players.
That's right.
And those are in descending order. Oafs.
In descending order of taxonomy.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, monsters are the tallest. Oafs are the biggest, I would say, overall. Then
Yes.
there are what was
they're bulls. We have bulls.
Yes, which I have a pitch on renaming the bulls, but whatever. Bulls, okay. And then there are those are 6 feet to 6'2" ish, let's say.
Yes.
Monsters are like 6'6" and above. Oafs are between 6'4".
Very important.
And
right.
Barrel chested, right?
But it is not just height, as we know.
No.
Right? Monsters are in incredible
Monsters are in good shape, yes. Monsters are Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, guys who are both very tall and also like incredibly strong and fit. Oafs are giant guys who are Jim Tomei shaped, let's call it.
Yes.
Then there are
who bash very, very long home runs.
Bash incredibly long home runs. Yes,
you cannot. If you're a very big guy. Now, this is obviously for hitters, which we will get to in a second. Where we're going with this. This is obviously for hitters, but you can be oaf-sized. But if you don't hit super duper long home runs, you're not an oaf.
You're not an oaf.
Right?
No, of course not. No. If Jim Tomei were like a Tony Gwynn style, hit the ball the other way, slap a bunch of singles, he's not an oaf. No.
Which reminds me, where is Ted Williams in all of this?
Ted Williams was a proper monster, I believe. Although I'm not sure he was. I'm not sure he was tall enough.
Well, remember we do gauge height by era, right?
So. Well, his Monster Plus, which is adjusted for era and parks he played in, he puts him solidly in the category of monster. But that's what he would be because he was tall and wiry and strong, and he was sort of like a left-handed. Ellie De La Cruz hitter almost in some ways. He wasn't as fast.
Well, he hit the ball super duper hard.
He just hit the ball incredibly hard. Yeah,
incredibly hard.
Okay, so there's monsters, there's oafs, then there's
bulls. What we've called bulls after Leon Durham.
Right.
They basically are Leon Durham sized players. They hit home runs, but they're not oafs, right? Like they're not
big enough. They're just not big enough to be oafs. I was gonna pitch. My problem with bulls is that the Bulls is also the name of a sports team, which seems wrong to me. My question for you is, should Bulls be called Parkers?
Ooh, after Dave Parker.
Or Cobras?
Cobras.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really good. Now, how tall was Dave Parker?
Don't know.
Dave Parker was kind of huge, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, so let's look up how tall Dave
Shockingly,
Parker was.
I've done no research into this.
Yeah, Dave Parker was 6'5". Dave Parker is a proper monster.
Okay, all right.
Proper monster,
all right,
for
all
sure.
Right. Well, we need something besides Bulls because I think it's weird to name, like, it sounds like we're talking about the Chicago Bulls. I don't like that. This is not a basketball thing. This is a baseball thing.
Would for that reason, would we not be able to call them Rices because of Rice University? Like, would that not work?
I just don't think Rice gets across what you want, You
don't see Jim Rice as being sort of the kind of, although Jim Rice was not a small guy. I mean,
Jim Rice was a very large guy.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking, when I think of Bulls, as we have formerly called them, I'm thinking of Leon Durham, Alvin Davis, like guys like that. Like they were. What about Kevin Mitchell?
All right, wait, we're getting off track. So the most important thing that happened is we came up with this taxonomical categorization system, and then
we have perfected, by the way.
And then and then immediately we're besieged by people who were screaming at us and yelling at us and and how could you forget Adam Dunn? Like there were a lot of votes that Adam Dunn should actually be the prototypical oaf and not Jim Tomei. So so that's the most important thing that's happened, and I think the purpose of today's podcast should be to just nail this down once and for all, to get these categories correct, and to make sure that we have the a good top 5 or top 10 list for the best kinds of guys to fit each one of these categories.
Well, I think that's really important, but we also were hammered by many people saying, how is there not a pitcher version of this?
Yes.
So I also think that before we're done here, we will have pitcher versions of the oaf.
No, what was the name? I don't even remember our own system. What was the name of people who were like Mookie size? Did we call them Mookies?
Did we call them Mookies? I thought we called them Mookies.
If we didn't, we should have. That should be their name, right?
Yeah, I think they're Mookies. I think all your Altuves, Joe Morgans,
Dustin Pedroias,
who like hit with surprising amount of, like Jose Ramirez is a Mookie, wouldn't you say?
Yes, he's like a Mookie is. Well, there's two. I think maybe we have to get a little more specific. There's two kinds of Mookies in the world of baseball. There are actual Mookie. The Mookie is basically the actual Mookie.
Right.
Is a baseball monster who was shrunk down. In other words, he's really fit. He's really strong. Altuve is that too, right? Yes. It's just a shrunken. It's a mini monster. But then there are Jose Ramirez's who are basically oafs that were shrunken down because you know what I mean. Jose Ramirez is a little rotund, a little beefy, and he just basically looks like someone took Jim Tomei, shrunk him down to like 6 feet or 5'11" instead of 6'4".
We did have a mini oaf thing for Matt Stairs, right?
Yes, that's what we need. What we need is the proper term for basically a mini oaf and a mini monster. Yeah. So there's basically
mini monsters are Mookies.
So there's yes, mini monsters are Mookies.
They're Mookie monsters.
But wait, let me just clarify what I think is happening here. Okay, there are 5 categories.
5.
There are oafs and monsters.
Yes.
There are mini oafs, which we'll call something, and mini monsters, which we'll call Mookies or Mookie monsters. Then there's this middle category of guys who are 6 feet to 6'2" or so, who mash dingers, and those guys currently are called bulls, but I think we need another name. That's what we're saying. There's 5 categories of these.
5 categories. Okay. Now, people who don't like mash just aren't.
They don't like Tommy Edman doesn't get in this game. I'm sorry.
But the Tony Gwynn will. There's nothing to do with these guys.
No. We're talking about like another species of creature that is put on Earth to mash homers.
Yes.
And there are 5 categories of those guys. There's a lot of other. Look, we'll come up with another category for gap hitters or whatever.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about is guys who mash homers. Monsters, oafs, mini monsters, mini oafs, and whatever the bulls are in the middle.
Whatever the middle ground.
Yeah.
All right. So this is good. So look, mini monsters are moving.
This is good.
This is good. What else is there to say? Mini monsters are clearly Mookie.
Those are Mookies. Mookie monsters. Well, if you're calling them Mookie monsters and not Mookies, you're committing to the idea that a mini oaf will be like a Tomei monster or a Dunn monster or something. You know what I mean? I think we should just call them Mookies.
But Mookie Monster is so perfect.
Yeah, it's literally one letter away from Cookie Monster. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah.
So we just have to come up with something that ends with oafs that's just as good as Mookie Monster.
All right?
Like something oaf, because the Tomei, we're not calling it the Tomies. We're calling them oafs.
Right. Okay.
So all right. So we need to come up with a good. First of all, who is the ideal mini oaf?
It's Jose Ramirez, I think.
Jose Ramirez is Matt Stairs the ideal?
Yeah, it's one of those 2 guys. Yes.
What about Schwartz?
Schwartz is 6 feet. We figured out, didn't we? Or is he 5'11"?
I think he's 5'11". I think
if he's 5'11", he might be the. If he's 5'11", the category is called Schwarbs. Schwarbofs.
Yeah, he's 5'11".
He's 5'11". There you go. Okay. Yeah. That's the answer. Okay, so it's oafs, monsters, Schwarbofs, Mookie monsters, and then whatever we rename bulls as. Those are the 5 categories.
So the problem is, I don't think we've come up with the perfect. Who is the perfect bull? Who is the perfect middle?
What we're looking for is a guy who's basically 6'1.5" or 6'2".
Yeah,
and strong, not too oafish and not too monsterish, right? It's like a guy who's like powerful guy.
That's why Dave Parker would have been perfect if he was 3 inches shorter,
Right.
or 4 inches shorter.
Right.
And that's why I was asking about Jim Rice, because Jim Rice is in that range. He's 6'2", 6'1", somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I don't know that he confers the exactly what we're talking about here. Who is sort of the ideal? All right. While we're looking, I'm going to look it up here. So let's say
Stargell was too tall, right? Stargell was a big dude.
Yeah, and I think Stargell is yeah. I don't think that's quite right. All right, here we go. So I'm going to look up here. I'm going to do it by size.
Okay.
And we're looking for between what is our.
It's if you have to be a mini Mookie or a Schwarboff, you have to be below 6 feet tall. You have to be 5'11" or shorter.
That's to be a Schwarbs.
To be a Schwarboff or a Mookie monster. So
right.
and,
so
and to be an oaf or a monster, you have to be 6'3" or above. So we're looking for 6'1" or 6'2". Yeah.
6 foot to 6'2". We're going to classify them by home runs, and here we go.
Okay.
This will give us and let's do this in real time, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bore the heck out of our people here. All right. The first name that comes up is Barry Bonds.
Nope.
So that's, I don't even know what we do that. Here's the problem. A lot of the great home run hitters are in that exact range.
Sure.
Barry Bonds, Henry Aaron, Babe Ruth, Sammy Sosa, Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, Rafael Palmeiro, Reggie Jackson, Manny Ramirez, Mike Schmidt, Jimmy Fox. Those are your between 6 foot and 6'2".
Okay, so the ones that leap out to me are Reggie and Schmidt.
Okay.
Because when you think of those guys, the very first thing you think about is a titanic home run.
Yes.
Right? Like not just like oh, he hit it out, but a shot where people are clutching their heads in dismay at how far the ball is going. Right. I would say the same is obviously true for some other guys, but that's actually not what you think of when you think of Hank Aaron. When you think of Hank Aaron, you think of
Hank Aaron. You just think of the ball going over the wall.
Relentless years of 40 homers year in year out.
And Babe Ruth is his own thing.
Yeah,
and Bonds is his own thing.
Bonds is his own thing.
Yeah,
I think you're the guys that jumped out to me again, Reggie and Schmidt. I'm not sure. I mean, Schmidt did have a sort of barrel chested,
Yeah, Schmidt was a great athlete. I mean, look, they were both great athletes. Neither one fit really into the oaf or monster.
Yeah. By the way, Dave Winfield, you're talking monster, right?
Total monster. 6'6" and
6'6" and an insane athlete.
Insane athlete. Yeah, total monster. We'll go through everybody taller. We're going to go through the top 100 home run hitters.
Yes.
Who are taller than 6'3".
No, we're going to go through the top 100 home run hitters ever and just say oaf, monster, mini Mookie, Schwarboff, or whatever.
That's why I'm saying, where does Hank Aaron and those guys that are in the middle fit in?
They will be this new Bulls category, I think.
Okay, so if that's the Bull, so now Bull doesn't there are too many really, really great players in this mix. I mean, Yaz is in here, and although you don't think of super long home runs with Yaz either.
McCovey's
huge.
McCovey was big.
McCovey's a monster.
He's a monster.
So Killebrew is a good one in this range, because Killebrew was kind of in that mix. That's killers. You don't want to call them killers, I don't think, because that's not quite right. Do we want to call them Reggies? Do we want to just throw Reggie bars at them? I mean, is that really what we're talking about?
Nah.
We don't want to call them Dukes after Duke Snyder, do we? Is that not there? That's not exactly what we're talking about.
No. I will say, though, that I think it's possible. Look, we're saying that the prototypical monster right now in the league is O'Neal Cruz. It's not like he's going to the Hall of Fame based on his current trajectory. Right. We're not necessarily looking for the most famous guy here.
No, we're looking for the athletic ability of them.
Yeah,
and their
mixed with with the shape of their human body.
There is an argument to be made that anybody who is in the middle doesn't get a name. They're different. They're not oafs. They're not monsters.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tommy Edman doesn't get mini Mookie status. He's the right shape and the right size, but he just doesn't.
He doesn't
work. Yeah.
No, we could say that those guys who are middle, they're just too conventional to be a part. Like Hank Aaron is just a conventional Hall of legend. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. He doesn't. He's not an oaf, not a
Nope.
monster. He's
I don't
his
know.
own
He's
thing.
not even a whatever the Bulls are going to be. Not everyone, even the greatest players of all time, don't necessarily fit into one of these 5 categories.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying we've not honed in on what this bull exactly is.
Well, I think it's a guy who you don't think of when you see him as, I mean, the reason Schwarber's so perfect is because you when you see him, you're not like, oh, that's one of the premier home run hitters in the world.
Right.
And then he
Right.
turns out to be exactly that. So what you want
Yeah.
is a guy who's like 6'1", which is like a pretty normal athlete size, and is like obviously very fit and strong person, but then hits like titanic monster dongs. That's what you want.
That's Reggie,
Yeah.
right? Like Reggie is like like how tall was Reggie Jackson?
I think he was taller.
Reggie Jackson was 6 foot.
6
foot
foot.
tall. Yeah, exactly 6 foot tall, and hit the monster home runs. Like that's what we're talking about. So
that is Reggie. Yeah. All right.
That's Reggie. I mean, and honestly, that's not Leon Durham. Like Leon Durham, Leon Durham hit 25 home runs a year, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not. He wasn't this awesome. So I think they're Reggies. They're just for now they're Reggies. That's what Harmon Killebrew is a Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are others that are just like doesn't.
Yeah, like I don't think Frank Robinson fits one of these categories, right?
Or Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just too conventionally great in order to be. And by the way, they may not want to be oafs or monsters or mini oafs or mini monsters.
These are not necessarily. Look, of the guys we've talked about, Dunn, Tomei's a Hall of Famer. Dunn isn't. O'Neal Cruz probably isn't, although who knows, long way to go.
Sure.
Schwarber is going to be a borderline case, I would say. Mookie's probably a Hall of Famer.
Here's what we're doing. All right, we're going to go through the top 100 home run hitters of all time.
Okay.
And we're going to determine one if they qualify as something, because they might be just like, nope, pass.
Right.
Just basically pass. Hank Aaron, pass. And then if they do what they are, and here's what I think we should do. We don't look up their height. We do it based on our.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna not know anyone's height. I'm gonna say right now.
I wouldn't know some of them, but I don't think we should look up their height because I think it's like.
And obviously, we can recategorize them, right? If we say like, oh, that guy's a Reggie, and then it turns out he's 6'5", it's like, oh,
then it's like,
I apologize, okay. He's a monster,
or
he's an oaf.
You're now an oaf.
Yeah.
By the way, can large Reggies be either monsters or oafs?
Yeah, it depends on what.
I'm saying, like, is Reggie? What I'm saying is Reggie neither a monster or an oaf? He's just a Reggie.
He's just a Reggie. Yeah, like I don't. Reggie. I think that when it comes to the Reggies, which again we're defining as 6 feet to 6'2", hits a ton of insane homers, right?
Long, super long.
Those guys, some of them are going to be a little more oafish in their shape. Some of them are going to be a little more kind of monsterish in their shape. So
what does an enlarged Reggie look like? Is he a monster or is he an oaf? Probably a monster.
Reggie was pretty fit guy, wasn't he?
He was pretty fit. I think he was pretty, like, late in his career he wasn't.
Yeah.
He went from monster to oaf.
He definitely veered oaf as he aged, which I think a lot of guys do, right?
Sure. I mean, how you can't stay a monster forever.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going through the top 100 players. Why would anybody listen to this? I don't know. And we're literally going to say, like, I'm just going to say there are going to be a bunch of them we're just going to pass.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't fit.
Yeah.
They don't fit. All right, Barry Bonds.
Pass
or is he a Reggie?
No, pass.
Pass.
I'm sorry. I think Barry Bonds is too much of his own category.
He's his own thing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these top guys are going to be like
yeah.
that. Henry Aaron is a pass.
Yep.
We've already said that. He's a pass. Babe Ruth is a pass too, just because. Although Babe Ruth is an oaf.
Babe Ruth, there's an argument to be made that Babe Ruth is the very first oaf.
The original
oaf, yeah.
The OG, the oaf G.
Yeah.
But the problem, yeah, no, I mean we can call him but it's he doesn't fit because he's his own
I think
thing.
He's the original oaf in the way that, like, the Lascaux cave drawings are the original art. You know what I mean? Where it's like technically yes, but it's like so long ago, and it's such a different world that you can't. It's like
Right.
you wouldn't think of.
It's like Bob Cousy is the original point guard.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Like
sure, he
like
is.
by the
Yeah.
letter of the law, yes, but in reality, like he only dribbled with one hand,
Right.
and
Split in
like
circles when he had to go left.
yeah, and the guys who he was playing against, they were taking trains to the games and bringing their own balls because there were no equipment managers on the teams. They had to bring their own balls to the games. So yes,
By the
technically
way,
first point guard.
would Tom Brady have done that? Would he have brought his own balls with him?
You know he would have.
All right, here we go. Albert Pujols.
This is interesting, right? Because monster / oaf is the question.
Is the question, and he to me is originally a monster developed into an oaf.
I think he was an oaf in a monster's costume always, because even in the early days when he was really 28 but claimed to be 22,
right.
His foot speed makes him an oaf to me.
Right. He was slow, but he was a good athlete. Like he was good defensively.
He was, but oh my God, was he so slow? It was hilarious how slow.
Very slow, and especially late in his life. However, also look, we are not saying oaf. Oaf is a delightful thing to be. What he did in that playoff game, the home run that silenced all of Houston,
one of the longest home runs I think I've ever seen hit.
Right, and that is the ultimate oaf thing to do, just to step in there and just embarrass. Okay. A-Rod, like, is his own. Does A-Rod even count?
I mean, A-Rod before the troubles, A-Rod was a monster. There's no question.
No doubt.
6'4", insane athlete, hit insane dingers. Like
for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know that I've ever seen anybody who hit fly balls that carried longer than A-Rod. Right?
Remember in that 2001 playoff series against the Yankees, where they had won 114 games or whatever it was, 116 games. They were losing and like they were about to go down at like game 5 or whatever it was. And he hit a home run off the left field foul pole at Yankee Stadium that hit like the top of the foul pole. It was one of the foul pole. It was insane. It was an insane distance to hit a baseball. And he was what?
That wasn't. Was he on the 2001 team though? He was.
The 2000 team. Yeah, it was the team before that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Or not 98 team? Jesus.
It could have been even 90. What was the
2000 was the because the 2000 was the year that he went to the Rangers. Yeah. So when the last year the Yankees played the Mariners, it was either 98 or 99. I don't remember, but I just remember like he was whatever he was, 20 years old and hit like
20 years old and already a monster. Yeah. He was such a monster. He currently today very much an oaf.
Yeah. He's become oafish in his old age. Yeah.
He's become oafish in his older day. Willie Mays, we're saying, is his own thing. Does Junior get in here? What is Junior? Junior feels like a Reggie in some ways.
Yeah, he's probably too tall to be a Reggie, but I don't
think he was that tall. Oh, he was. He was 6'3".
Yeah.
He's not a monster, though.
No.
I don't think he's a monster.
No, because you know why? Part of it is that he everything about his game was so smooth. Yeah. Like there's nothing monster. The part of the being a monster is that it's just this massive. It's just this like explosion of power, and his swing was so smooth, and his home runs were so smooth, and his bat drops were so smooth. Like there's nothing monstrous about him. He's too cool to be a monster.
Too cool to be smooth. He's too cool to be a monster. I agree. He's his own thing. He's a Griffey. All right, Jim told me we've decided is the
one of the great oafs. One of the greatest of all the oafs. Yeah,
one of the greatest of all the oafs. Sammy Sosa. Is Sammy a Reggie? Sammy hit some bombs, man.
How tall was Sammy?
6 foot. He was about Reggie sized.
I think he technically qualifies as a Reggie. Yeah,
I think he's probably a Reggie. Frank Robinson, we're saying, is his own thing. Mark McGwire?
Mark McGwire's an oaf, yeah.
He's an oaf, right?
Yeah.
I think he's an oaf.
Yeah.
Harmon Killebrew is too small to be an oaf, but he's going to be...
Is he a Schwarbs? Is he under 6 feet?
He's a Schwarb oaf. Yeah, he's a Schwarb oaf. He's right at 6 feet, so he's a Reggie then.
All right. He reads as more of a Schwarboff to me than a Reggie. But
he reads more of a Schwarboff. You know what? We don't have to go specific.
Yeah, there's leeway. The committee is allowed leeway in different scenarios. You can recategorize people.
Rafael Palmeiro is none of these things.
No,
Reggie is obviously Reggie. What is Manny Ramirez?
he's a Reggie, I think.
He's a Reggie.
Yeah.
I agree. Schmidt's a Reggie. David Ortiz, total
One
oaf.
of the
Just
great,
like
a classic
one of the
oaf.
great oafs
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cartoon, a fairy tale monster, which is an oaf. Yeah.
He's an oaf, yes. Mickey Mantle? Kind of his own thing, right? Or is he a Reggie?
I think he's a Reggie. Yeah. Because I think he's like a wiry, strong, like guy of relatively normal height who hit a 565-foot home run that probably didn't go that far.
But still bombed.
Yeah.
I mean, still
Yeah. It's still
bomb.
like, yeah, ridiculous.
Here's what I would say about Mantle, and I think this is why people come to us to look for this. Mantle is actually shorter than Killebrew.
Huh.
But somehow Killebrew, he's 5'11", so he's in the Schwarbo thing. But Killebrew is a Schwarbo and
Mantle is a Reggie. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's right. Jimmy Fox, like,
Who
sorry,
cares?
pass. Yeah, pass. Willie McCovey is a monster.
Willie McCovey's a monster.
Frank Thomas, kind of an oaf.
Frank Thomas is an oaf if he's tall enough.
He's an oaf,
I assume
right?
he is. Yeah. Oh, Frank Thomas, classic oaf. Like
Classic.
a DH through and through. I mean, a big way to tell if you're a monster or an oaf is if you are a DH when you're like 26. If you're a DH when you're,
which is why Shohei is such an anomaly.
yeah. Well,
right?
special case though. Like
he also pitched.
They're DHing because he pitches every fifth day, and so, but they need his bat in the lineup, and they're not going to put him in the outfield where he get hurt. So
I had this question for you that actually I had separately, but now fits in perfectly. How good an outfielder would Shohei Ohtani be?
of course, he'd be the best. He'd be incredible.
He'd be a Gold Glover, right?
Yeah,
like
of
there's
course. Yes.
like, first of all, he'd be an unbelievable right fielder, right? Like the arm would be, it would play out.
Of course,
right,
it would.
I think. Yeah,
he would with no expression on his face. He would run deep into the corner, play a ball off the wall perfectly, turn and make a 350-foot throw to third base to get a guy by 2 steps who was trying to stretch it into a triple, and then he would
do the Ronald Acuna thing like 10 times.
Yeah.
Although that Acuna throw, my gosh.
Let's pause for a second.
Yes.
If you didn't see it, against the Yankees, there was a runner on second base and 1 out, or no outs, I think, and Acuna went into the right field corner and had his I think because of the sort of twisting wind or something, essentially had his back to third base.
Yeah, I think just kind of a lazy play for him.
He caught the ball, turned around, flat-footed, and threw the ball to third base on the dot, like on essentially a perfect throw, and caught a Yankee base runner. It was the Vivas or whatever his name is, who was tagging up and trying to make it to third. And Vivas did not slide and did not really hustle at full speed, in part because the idea that anyone could throw him out was patently absurd. And Acuna threw the ball. It was later measured by Statcast to be a 301-foot throw, and nailed him at third base.
Yes.
I clipped it and I put it on our text thread with you and Brandon McCarthy, the Yankees suck text thread.
The Yankees suck.
And I just wrote, "Oh my God," or whatever. Yeah. And Brandon poo-pooed the throw.
That's all he does, man. That's all he does.
It was the weirdest hill to die on. He was like, not that great. I see right fielders do that all the time. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, look, and he was like, it's okay. It's a little too loopy for me. Like, wasn't as like
too much loft.
Too much loft. He compared it to the Ichiro Star Wars throw. He compared it to the I can't remember which other one he compared it to.
He had the Clemente throw.
But I was, and eventually I just hammered him. I did not let him off the hook. And eventually he was like, okay, I'll watch it again. It's a little further away than I thought. And I wrote, it's 301 feet. It's a 301-foot throw that was perfect online and got a guy tagging up from second to third. And he still kind of didn't give it up. It was insane.
No. Well, first of all, that's what he does, right? Like literally his role on the text thread is to downplay every single thing that we ever talk about. My favorite version of this is when which you will only do 10 to 15 times a night, sent us a ball strike call that was blown by the umpire, which you always do. And he flat out started arguing with you.
Yeah.
Just because it was on the edge,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Man, I'm not sure that's a strike. I'm not sure." You're like, "No, it's definitely a strike." And you guys went back and forth. It was so delightful. It was like 30 texts of you guys going back and forth on that ball.
He exists to troll me, and
Yes.
I exist to take the bait, is basically the way I think of it. Like, I know what he's doing, and I'm here for it. I'm like, great, yes,
You're
I'm
in
going to take
anyway,
this bait, and I'm going to argue this totally meaningless thing for as long. I will go as long as he goes, and I will never cede ground, or just I know what's happening, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Ernie Banks is his own thing. Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera definitely has some oafish qualities.
Yeah,
sure.
This is tricky because he's basically a tall Schwarbof or a short oaf, but there is no word for that because that's not exactly what a
Reggie
Reggie is.
6'4". He's an oaf.
Oh,
He's
okay. If he's 6'4", he's an oaf. Yeah, then great.
Yeah. He's just an oaf.
Yeah.
He definitely has.
I thought he was. I didn't know he was that tall.
Gary Sheffield. That's a Reggie.
Okay, so this is a Reggie, but I was thinking about Sheffield when we were doing this the last time because it's to Gary Sheffield's great detriment that he isn't a couple inches taller, because he would be a prototypical monster if he were 6'4".
Yes.
I don't believe he's 6'4", right? I think
he's not. He's 5'11". He's not even 6 feet tall.
Oh, then he's technically well, no, we're gonna kick him up into the Reggie category. He's
not a Moogie.
He's not a Moogie. No. Yeah,
not at all. Here's something that we have not discussed, but I think is certainly important, is attitude between the monsters and the oafs.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
The oafs are really more generally laid back, kind of like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna just bop some home runs and whatever. And the monsters are generally very intense. So Sheffield is
the way to do this occurred to me last time we were talking about this too. The way to do this is if you have a giant man who hits long homers.
Yes.
When you think about that man, what do you think of? Do you think of the BFG from Roald Dahl's The BFG, or do you think of Predator from the movie Predator?
Okay, there you go.
That's the way to differ. If you had to categorize them and you're like, oh, that guy's the BFG, that is an oaf. If you think that guy's the Predator, that guy's a monster. That's because you think O'Neal Cruz, Predator. You think Jim Thome, BFG. You think Ellie De La Cruz, Predator. You think David Ortiz, BFG. There's a friendliness and an affability to the oafs that the monsters don't have, and there is a intensity and a kind of like killer laser, like fire beams shooting out of their eyes thing that the oafs don't have.
That's why Gary Sheffield is the prototypical little monster.
Yes, he would be if he were 6'4", it's one of the easiest calls of all time.
Yeah, right.
But
he's a Reggie.
Yeah.
He's a Reggie.
Yeah.
Like Reggie, Eddie Murray is nothing, right? He's none of these things.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
I guess he could be.
He could be a Reggie, but he's like
he didn't hit that many long home runs. It was just like
he was
just over the wall.
He was just an excellent baseball player.
Just an excellent baseball player. That's exactly right. Fred McGriff.
He's nothing. I'm sorry.
Poor Fred.
Fred McGriff is like he hit 502 homers, and he had a very casual, calm attitude. He was
like Murray.
He was he was just like a
he was a friendlier.
He was a relentlessly excellent first baseman who was at the top of his profession for 20 years, and
that's right.
And that's enough for him.
493 home runs, by the way.
493. Who got to 502? Who am I thinking of?
No, he didn't quite, because he would have gotten in the Hall of Fame earlier if he got to 500. Adrian Beltre.
I would say he's a Reggie, although I don't know that he hit long enough home runs.
Yeah, he's 5'11".
He has the body shape of a Schwarbof.
He has a Schwarbs type body shape. He also is delightful.
I would give him I would award him Schwarbof status.
He's Schwarbov. All right, we'll give it to him, which I think is great. Willie Stargell, we talked about him a little earlier. He was 6'2", so I guess he's a Reggie. He's just a Reggie.
He's a Reggie. Yes, he's a Reggie. And if he were 2 inches taller, he'd be an oaf.
He'd be an oaf.
Yeah.
Carlos Delgado's an oaf, yes?
No, Joe. Carlos Delgado is a monster. Carlos
Okay.
Delgado, if Statcast had been around, you would have seen stats where it's like, 8 of the 30 hardest hit balls this year were Carlos Delgado.
He did pound them.
You do not think BFG when you think of Delgado, you think Predator.
Yeah.
If he's tall enough, he's a monster. How tall?
He's 6'3". Yeah,
6'3". Okay. He's like the shortest of the monsters, but he's a monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Carlos Delgado, would you in the Michael Schur world, would you put him in the Michael Schur baseball hall?
I think I would, yeah. I think Carlos Delgado is one of those guys who was stirred into a very thick soup of home run hitters at a time when everyone was using steroids, and it was all kind of this messy morass of like different guys were hitting 52 out of nowhere and whatever. But like, I can tell you that when the Red Sox played the Blue Jays, he was the guy that I was like, oh God, please get that guy out of here. I don't want to see that guy anymore. He's so scary. He was basically a left-handed Sheffield for me, where it's just that you just know where he is in the lineup at all times because you're so scared of when he comes up.
He was so good, but he also had a little kind of oafy look to him. It was not a monster.
I think he was too
intense. Attitude is important.
I think I was just scared of him in the way that I'm scared of a monster more than an oaf.
Chipper Jones, nothing, right?
Nah.
Nothing. Dave Winfield, we already said, sort of an early monster.
Classic monster. Classic great monster, yeah.
In his early days. What about Nelson Cruz?
He'd be an oaf if he were anything. He was very affable.
He was very affable. I think he's he's probably in the Reggie world, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think he was like, he's not like in the, when you think of the best oafs, you're thinking of guys like Ortiz and Tomei, and Nelson Cruz never scared you or like.
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't
But I've got a classic 1980s monster for you.
Great.
Definite monster. I'm saying this right now.
All right.
Jose Canseco.
Oh, of course, yeah. Classic monster.
Classic monster.
Yeah.
Maybe like kind of like not the original monster, but certainly.
I mean, like just gigantic biceps and like on the cover of like Men's Health magazine with like ripped abs because he was doing so many.
I wonder how he got those. I don't know how he did it.
No, great monster. Yeah.
And Adam Dunn, we've already said, one of the great oafs.
One of the all-time oafs.
One of the all-time oafs. Yaz, nothing, right? Yaz does not fit into any of these.
I mean, he'd be a Reggie, but I don't.
He didn't hit long enough home runs to be a Reggie.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
He just hit a bunch of them. He was great. Again, in some ways, you want to be like nothing. Like that just great ball player. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Bagwell.
He'd be a mini Schwarboff, I think, if he were anything.
You really
Although, no, you know what? No, I think he's a Reggie if he's anything. How tall was Bags?
He's a Reggie. I think he's a Reggie. He was not. He was too intense.
Was he 6 feet tall?
Right at
6 feet.
So he's a Reggie.
He's a Reggie, yeah.
Vlad Guerrero.
Monster.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Vlad Jr.
Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, for Schwarboff, depending on how tall he is. But yeah, I mean,
how does the BFG get married, have a kid that turns out to be a predator?
No, Vladdy Jr. That's wild. An oaf or a monster gave birth to an oaf. That
gave birth to an oaf.
Yeah. Because usually you're talking about Cecil Fielder and
right,
Prince
just
Fielder.
A couple of oafs.
Yeah,
right, a couple of mini oafs
or Schwarboffs. Yeah,
Schwarboffs. You know, what is Dave Kingman?
Monster.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not an oaf.
No.
He was too mean to be an oaf.
No, and the like batting practice prowess and the terrifying nature of he's going to strike out 78% of the time and 22% of the time he's going to hit the ball so far it never comes down. Like he's a monster, no question.
Yeah. I got a good oaf for you. I think a pretty good oaf for you.
Okay.
Jason Giambi.
Oh yeah, great oaf. Oh,
great oaf, right?
And a little brother who's a Schwarboff. Oh. Jeremy is a Schwarboff.
Jeremy was very much a Schwarboff.
Yeah,
that Schwarboff didn't slide against the Yankees. Yeah. I can tell you that.
No, the oaf didn't slide, wasn't it? Wasn't it Jason? It was Jason.
No, it was Jeremy.
It was Jeremy.
that did
Jeremy.
the smile.
Jeremy. Sorry.
Yeah. It was the Schwarbo
Yeah.
that did not smile. Paul Konerko.
Nah.
Kind of nothing,
Kind of
right?
nothing. Yeah.
He was Reggie size, but he wasn't Reggie. Like that doesn't fit. Andre Dawson.
Monster.
I don't think he was tall enough to be a monster, was he?
Was he not?
He was. Yeah, he was. He was tall enough. Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
6'3".
Predator. Predator. Yeah.
Carlos Beltran?
Nah.
I don't know if he doesn't think he fits, right?
Mm-mm.
One gone.
If he's tall enough, he's a monster, I would say.
Yeah, he's tall enough.
Yeah.
He's a monster. They list him, by the way, at 6'3", 175 pounds.
So we should take all of this with a grain of salt.
That is actually hilarious. There's no way that's true.
I mean, they're off by 50 pounds minimum.
At least 50 pounds. Andrew Jones.
He could be a Reggie. He didn't hit monster homers in the way.
No, he really did. He hit a lot of them.
Yeah, but I don't.
He was an interesting, like, separate category, which is incredible athletes who do not look like incredible athletes.
He was a little puffy. Like when you saw him, when you saw his arms, he wasn't like cut. He didn't look like Wangan. He looked like
and you didn't look at him and go, that guy's like fast. But he was like the greatest center fielder of his time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird. There are a few guys like that.
Yeah.
That are just like, how is that person? Barkley was that.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley. You would never have guessed how good an athlete Charles Barkley was. All right, what are we doing with Giancarlo Stanton? He's the ultimate monster. Right?
Monster. Yeah, monster. Easy monster.
Cal Ripken Jr. I don't think he hit long enough home runs.
He
was a monster.
Era adjusted monster for sure. Like
he was 6'5",
6'5"
right?
shortstop who was an incredible athlete and but
he was.
I don't think he I'll give him an era adjusted. He's a monster plus. His monster plus gets him in. But
you don't have to give it any era at all to Mike Piazza, right? Mike Piazza just flat out monster.
Right? Yep.
No doubt. Billy Williams, kind of nothing. Kind of you can't put him in any category.
No.
Edwin Encarnacion.
Nah.
He's not a Reggie, right?
No.
He doesn't fit there. Yeah, so now we're getting into some like Darrell Evans. Sort of had a little bit of a Schwarbo.
He had a little Schwarbo-y vibe.
But he was too big. He was too big to be a Schwarbo. He's not a Reggie. Alfonso Soriano, was he a monster?
No, he's a Mookie if he's anything. I don't know if he's a Mookie monster.
He's 6'1".
He's 6'1", then he's nothing, I think.
Mark Teixeira.
Oaf adjacent, I'm going to say. Like kind of a little clumsy, kind of like a little, like a little thick around the middle, that guy. I
think he's good.
Kind of a dopey looking guy. If he must have been 6'3", right, Teixeira?
He's 6'3". Yeah, he's oafy.
I think he's like a small oaf. He's on the small end of the oaf scale.
On the smaller side of the oaf.
Yeah.
Is Andres Galarraga an oaf?
Oh, of course he is. Yes, wonderful oaf. Yes, fantastic oaf.
All right, Jim Edmonds, nothing. Nettles, nothing. Bench, nothing.
Bench could be a Schwarbof, maybe.
Yeah, you think
so? I mean, you're getting into these catchers now, like Carlton Fisk and Bench, and
they're their own thing.
They're kind of their own thing. We probably need a category for
they're just pudges.
They're pudges. Pudges. He's a pudge.
He's a pudge. Let's see. Harold Baines, just professional hitter.
Yep.
Frank Howard, super duper tall.
Very tall. Very
terrible
powerful.
Outfielder, but good outfielder. Kind of oafy, very friendly. Everybody loved him.
I think he might be an oaf, yeah.
I think he's an oaf. I think Frank Howard is definitely an oaf. Ryan Howard couldn't be more oaf.
I mean, the only thing is his height. I don't think he was that tall.
He's
6'4"? Was he really?
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
Well, Frank, he was huge.
Fantastic.
Jim Rice is a Reggie.
Yep.
Oh, here you go. I got one for you. Albert Bell.
Now, okay. Last thing I'm going to say. about this
Yes.
taxonomical categorization exercise.
Yes.
It is possible, much like the Muggles in Harry Potter.
Yes.
No, sorry. What did they call them when you had one parent who is a wizard and another parent who is a
Oh,
half
that horrible mudblood
mudblood?
boy.
Was the slur, right? Okay,
The
so
slur.
I'm not using this as a slur at all.
No.
I'm saying that this is a half and half situation where you
Okay.
are half monster and half oaf.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that they're like, because Albert Bell's intensity and his like competitive fire and his
Couldn't
scariness
be more monster.
couldn't be
Couldn't
more
be more.
monsterish, but his body shape is oaf. I think he is a rare half oaf, half monster.
There are so few of
And
them.
there are
There's
very
so
few of them,
few.
but they are out there. There's guys who are in fact, I would say even though David Ortiz is an oaf, there is a little
Yes.
monster in him. Somehow he had some great grandparents who
Ooh.
were monsters because
You think so?
because he got kicked out of a million games and he famously like smashed the dugout phone with his bat. He did a lot of non-oafy things, much more monstery kind of things.
Okay, so let me ask you this one. This will be our final thing because we have to go on to pitching because I have to ask you a pitching question.
All right.
Are there wannabes? And here's what I mean. Paul O'Neill is the wannabe
Oh
monster
my
of
God.
all
Just
time.
absolute pretender to the throne, that guy. Yes. Wanted more than anything in the world for people to think of him as a monster.
Yes.
Sorry, buddy.
Not a monster.
I don't care. You know what he's like? He's like a legacy kid who's like, it feels like entitled to get into a certain college. That's how much he wanted to be a monster. And it's like, no, the committee is judging you on your merits and you are not good enough. You do not hit the ball far enough to be a monster.
No.
So take your fake intensity and you're like throwing, like coolers of Gatorade onto the field and pounding your glove and screaming and red-faced nonsense. Tell your story walking, guy. You're not getting into the club. You are not a
Not
monster.
a
You never
monster.
will be a monster. I don't buy it. You're like a preppy, entitled, spoiled brat who believes that it's his birthright to be a monster. You're not getting it. We're not letting
Not
you in.
monster.
You are not. You're never getting admitted to this club.
Never getting in. Yeah, there are wannabe. He's the ultimate wannabe monster, right? Like he is like he built his entire life around becoming a monster.
Yeah,
and it is never happening. I don't care how many times they retire his number. He's never going to be a monster.
Never.
Are there wannabe oafs? There are probably a few that just like you know who is a wannabe oaf is Willie Mopena.
I think Willie Mopena is in the Albert Bell half and half category.
Oh, he was monster.
I think he had a one monster set of monster grandparents and one set of oaf grandparents, and that's why it never quite worked out because he couldn't pick a lane.
I got a wannabe monster for you.
All right.
Sam Horn.
Yeah, although Sam again,
want to be oaf.
I want to be oaf.
Monster.
Yeah, I think yes, I think Sam Horn. If like he wasn't just quite good enough to be an oaf.
Just wanted but I'm saying he wanted to be an oaf.
Yeah, that's where he was headed for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he came up and hit like 14 homers in his first 59 games or whatever it was,
right?
It was like, oh my God, here we go, oaf Hall of Fame, and then it just kind of didn't quite pan out.
We have to have a category for pitchers that goes along the same lines.
Okay.
Right? And I think it needs to be, sadly for so many people, it's got to be built around strikeouts, right? It's got to be built around power pitching, right? So is there a difference? First of all, does this even work for pitchers? Is there a difference between an oaf and a monster pitcher?
I think we need a new name. I think that the equivalent, the monster equivalent for pitchers is a unit.
A unit.
There are units, and then the oaf equivalent for pitchers is a Rushel.
There are so few Rushells.
No,
left.
David Wells is a Rush. Oh, they could also just be Wells. They could also be Wells. We could call them Wells.
No, I like Rushell.
Okay,
Rushell's
David Wells is a Rushell. Like Rich Hill is a Rushell.
But is Rich Hill? I mean, so you're saying so that actually separates between like how hard you throw.
Yeah, I think it's that.
So you don't necessarily. It doesn't have to do anything with size.
No, it does a little bit because units like Aroldis Chapman is a unit, right? Because Aroldis Chapman, you don't see this. It's hard to judge pitchers' heights because they're standing on a mound. Yeah. Aroldis is like 6'4", and he throws 170 miles an hour. So like the units are whatever. Paul Skeens is a unit, and Les Mis is a unit, and Chapman is a unit, and it's enormous, monster-sized people who throw 100 miles an hour are units, right?
What about like regular sized people?
Well, I don't know, but I don't think there's too many of them, and I don't know that there's a equivalent. I mean, there's obviously the Billy Wagner types who are 5'11" or 5'8" or 5'9", who are the mini.
Pedro. What about Pedro?
Right, Pedro's a Mookie monster for pitchers. I don't know what that is, but
they're Pedros.
Yeah, they're Pedros. We could just call them or Wagners or Pedros or or who is the other? There's another reliever from that era who was like 5'9" or 5'10" and threw like 100 miles an hour. Wagner's the most famous one. He's literally 5'8" or something, wasn't he? 5'9"?
Yeah, Wagner was far and away the most famous of those guys. Well, what about like, is there simply no room in our categorization for your Maddixes, for your sort of
I think that's Henry Aaron. It's just like he's a pitcher. What do you want? He's like, we're not trying to categorize every single guy who's ever played. We're pinpointing a certain type of guy.
So we're pinpointing intimidation.
Yes,
is obviously your unit.
Yeah.
So what are your Wells type of pitchers?
Those are the oafs, which I think are Rushells. That's, to me, it's the guy who's like, he's like, 6 feet or bigger with like, who's not in shape. Like, that's what's fun about this, right? It's like Rod Beck. It's like a late career Rod Beck is like a Rushell. It's like a guy with a belly who, like, CC Sabathia is not a unit. I'm sorry. He's a Rushell.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to now do exactly the same thing. So let's say everybody above 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Let's say. You want to say 6 feet or even 6'1"?
No, do 6 feet. Actually, yeah, do 6 feet.
All right, so let's do everybody taller than 6 feet. Let's see here, and we'll just go by WAR. That's fine, and we will start. Let's start in 1970.
Okay.
Right. Because I don't think we're trying to judge.
So Nolan Ryan is a unit.
I think Nolan Ryan's going to be a unit.
Yeah.
So let's do this. All right. So here we go. Oh, wait. I don't want that. It's so fun to do stuff in real time.
Yeah, it's great. No editing.
No editing whatsoever. We would never even consider editing.
My friend Mike Scully, longtime Simpsons writer, wrote on Parks and Rec and a bunch of other stuff with me. He once tweeted, jobs that don't exist, podcast editor.
All right. Roger Clemens.
Unit.
Greg Maddux, we're saying, is his own thing.
Yep.
Randy Johnson's obviously the ultimate unit.
Yep.
Mike Mussina?
Nothing.
Justin Verlander's a unit. Kurt Schilling?
I mean, if he's anything, he's Rushell. He had a big belly, that guy. He had a big belly hung over his belt.
Phil Niekro?
Nah.
Nothing?
His own thing.
Tom Seaver?
Nope.
Clayton Kershaw?
Nope.
Wow. See, it's tough to be Max Scherzer?
Possible unit.
Yeah. Tom Glavine? Nothing?
Nope.
Greinke? Nothing?
Nope.
Rick Rushell, obviously a Rushell.
Yep.
John Smoltz. I would like to nominate John Smoltz. He's an oaf. He just gets to be an oaf.
Not based on his play, based on his announcing.
Nothing to do with it, and not comparing him to the other oafs. And he just is an oaf. Roy Halladay, was Roy Halladay a unit?
Not quite. Didn't like. We're talking about guys who like. We're talking about guys who, like, in the All-Star game, John Kruk doesn't want to face and like puts his helmet on the other way. Like, you know what I mean? It's got to be a unit has to be so scary to face that he like strikes fear into the hearts of, like, Roy Halladay was incredible. Didn't strike fear into the hearts of the guys.
No, and by the way, the same thing with the Rushells. They just have to be paunchy.
Just paunchy.
That's the
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the only.
exactly.
We don't have this category is not as honed. I
No,
don't
it
think, as
isn't at all. But
women.
like Kurt Schilling did strike fear into people's hearts occasionally, but that doesn't matter because what was more important about him was that he had a belly that hung over his belt.
CC Sabathia, we have decided obviously
He's a Russell.
is a Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cohn,
Nope.
Pettit,
Nope.
Burley, Saberhagen,
Nope.
Gaylord Perry, delightfully Russell.
A little Russell. I mean,
little
from
Russell.
age 35 to 52 or whenever he stopped pitching. Yeah.
He was definitely a Russell. Mark Burley? Did Mark Burley have enough to be a Russell?
Nope.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
He had a little punch.
Did he have a little punch to him? He was a great athlete, though. I mean, I guess
He
a
was
lot
a
of these guys are
great defensive player. Great defensive player. Chuck Finley was way bigger than you think, but he was certainly not intimidating.
Nope.
So it shows you how rare it is. Because look, Cole Hamels, Don Sutton, Frank Tanana, Dave Steve, Tim Hudson, none of those guys are going to get. Now, here's one for you.
Okay.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, he's a unit, unfortunately.
He's a unit, right?
Yeah.
But he struck fear into your hearts. Why? You were not afraid of him in the same way.
No, he was the Sandman. He was coming in to suffocate you and smother you and murder you. Yeah. And he was tall and really skinny, and he just you knew what it was like he was you saw when you saw him when he entered the game, you knew that you had minutes to live.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was like basically it's a professional hit guy. Like just walks in.
Yeah, he was a Jason Bourne assassin who like he was John Wick. Like that, it was just he was very quiet and straightforward and calm, and you were gonna die when you saw him.
You were gonna die. Yeah. Is Chris Sale a unit? He's got to be, right?
Yeah, I think. Obviously different now after all the injuries, but the early Chris Sale, without question. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Apier, Palmer, Wells, Jenkins, none of these guys. Hershiser.
Jenkins had a little Russell in him.
Especially toward the
later
end.
in his career, yeah.
Did Hershiser have a little Russell? Just a little bit?
No, Hershiser was skinny.
He was skinny early, but once in those Cleveland days, he started getting a little bit. Is Johan Santana a unit?
Not big enough. Sorry.
Not big enough, yeah. Oh, Kenny Rogers. What a Russell.
I mean,
that guy was.
Classic Russell. The gambler.
Classic Russell.
The gambler. Just absolutely not in shape, that guy. Not.
Jamie Moyer, very good Russell.
He's a Russell, yeah. I mean,
he wasn't paunchy, but he was just.
He had a little bit of a feeling of. I mean, look, he pitched until he was 49 or something.
Yeah.
So anyone who's 49 is going to have a little belly at some point.
Yes. King Felix.
Early King Felix, I would say, was a unit.
I think unit.
Yeah.
I think he gets. He gained a little paunch at the end, but he's always hurt.
Yeah. Oh, Alek Manoah is like the perfect modern day Russell.
Oh, such a good Russell.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart that it's like
sad, man.
He was so funny during that All-Star game.
He was great. And a great pitcher. Funny. Like I hope he figures it out. It doesn't look good, but I hope he figures it out.
All right. Dennis Martinez and Jimmy Key, nothing. Dwight Gooden, a unit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dwight Gooden, unit. Yeah. Terrifying. Sure.
Frank Viola, Brad Radke.
Frank Viola, if I remember correctly, maybe just because he's left-handed, I remember him as being a little Russell-y toward the end.
A little Russell. a little bit of a Russell going.
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom, such a unit.
Yeah, right? I mean the rare like non-huge, the rare like super. He's like a normal sized person, right? Isn't he? Or is he taller than I think he is?
He's not.
He's 6'4"? Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, he's a total unit. Vida Blue kind of was a unit.
Vida Blue was a unit, yeah, and maybe a Russell toward the end.
Oh, Steve Rogers, there's a Russell for you.
There you go.
Jack Morris?
Nah.
He had the mustache of a Russell.
He did.
But no, I don't think so.
No.
All right. John Lester, no. Javi Vasquez.
Lester had a little Russell in him, I'm going to say. A little bit. Not a full Russell, but a little Russell.
Garrett Cole's a unit.
Yeah, he's a unit.
Total unit. Cliff Lee.
No.
No, nothing.
Didn't throw
Al Leiter. Did Al Leiter have a little a Russell in him?
Al Leiter. Did Al Leiter have a little Russell in him? What has happened to us? What are we doing? I think he did probably toward the end.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, look, the arc of Major League Pictures is long, but it bends towards Russell.
Here's the thing. All units eventually become Russell.
You stick around long enough, you're gonna you come into this world a unit and you go out a Russell.
You go out of Russell. There's no doubt. What about Goose Gossage? Right?
Unit.
Total unit.
Yep.
But,
Terrifying.
but again, veer toward Russell.
Yeah.
Toward
But the way
what
you think of him, what you think of is like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball under your chin, right?
It's your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally at your head. Wilbur Wood, kind of the great 70s Russell of his day,
Sure.
right? Like the early 70s. John Candelaria, delightful Russell. So now I'm looking. Oh, what about Charlie Huff? Was Charlie Huff a Russell? Did he get there?
Knuckleballers can't be in either of these categories. I guess they could theoretically, but like again, Charlie Huff pitched till he was 50 and he had a little punch.
Yes.
And
all right, Carlos Zambrano.
Unit.
He was a unit
with a Russell body.
I might have the ultimate Russell for you.
All right.
Louis Tiant.
Yeah. I this was going to come up eventually, but yes, Louis Tiant was a Russell. Even though, in the early days, total fireballer, like
total fireballer, but still looked Russell-y.
But like the wind up and the like, I mean, years after he retired, he had like a sausage stand on Lansdowne Street where you could buy a sausage,
just
get an autograph, and so
the best. He's all day. Him not being in the Hall of Fame is a travesty. Josh Beckett was a unit, right?
Yep, 6'4", 6'5", angry, always red faced and furious at everyone.
Always furious, yeah. Jose Rijo? Did Jose Rijo have a little bit of Russell?
The 1990 Reds had a number of units on them, I would say.
Units,
yeah,
for sure.
Like Rijo, and then there's like the Dibbles and
Dibble and yeah, those guys.
Norm Charlton, units. All those guys.
Let's see, Bruce Hurst.
Oh, great Russell, incredible Russell. In fact, Russell should actually be called Hurst. We should rename the category.
Freddie Garcia was a nice Russell.
Yeah,
right?
He had a rush. He had Russellian qualities.
He did. All right, we're not going to do this forever. So, all right. So I think what we've decided is,
I thought we agreed we were going to do this forever until we both die of thirst.
I think that the pitching thing is very good what we have, but it's much more limited than
there's more. Look, these are the opening salvos in a conversation that will clearly take years to complete.
Years to that's right.
I don't feel like we've heard the last of we've gotten the last blue sky DM about who we missed in any of these categories. I think this will continue for a while. What's important is that we are recategorizing all baseball players into different sections of body type and playing style. And when we're done, the list will be definitive and complete. We will have categorized all 23,000 or so professional baseball players, Major League Baseball players, into one of several categories that are named after other baseball players and that are subject to qualities and qualifications that are purely based on our whim and which change and shift constantly without warning. I don't see the problem.
We will have forgotten what we named all of these.
I've already forgotten. I don't. I don't remember. We'll never write it down. We'll never keep track, and we'll contradict ourselves hundreds of times. But that will not stop us from continuing to do it whenever we can.
What do you think? What will be the response to us? Like, what will be the biggest
universal acclaim?
Which is what we always get. I mean, being honest, obviously.
I think that people will continue to nominate various people. People will continue to suggest other taxonomical names. They will continue to suggest players to better fit these categories. Those categories will then shift and change, and we'll alter them. And we'll also, again, it's important that you all know this. We will continue to contradict things we have said before without warning and without any forethought. And without apology, like just the height qualifications, the actual characteristics of these guys will never be the same from one podcast to the next. Just get on board with that now. Understand that that's going to happen, and we'll all be fine.
It will all be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. In other words, what we're saying is we really look forward to hearing from you. we, we can't wait. We cannot
Yeah,
wait to hear
it'll be
from
great.
you.
Yes, please, we write in with your thoughts and comments.
All right. Time for one last meaningless thing to end this meaningless thing. And why don't you start?
You might be aware that I play solitaire. Have I talked about this before?
You've not talked about this, but I think I was aware.
Part of my brainstorming writing process is playing solitaire.
Yeah.
I write for a while, and I hit a point where I can't work something out, and I just play a game of solitaire. And
now, please clarify. Solitaire on your computer?
No, with an actual deck of cards. Sorry, I should have qualified.
So you have an actual deck of cards.
Actual deck of cards. I'm holding it right here. It's got the Red Sox logo on it. There we go.
I like it. Red Sox cards.
A while last year when I was editing A Man on the Inside season 1, I thought I play solitaire constantly while I'm editing because there's a lot of downtime while you say to the editors, hey, try this and this and this, and it takes a couple minutes. So I played solitaire, and I decided to track my stats because I was curious, genuinely curious, how often do I win, right? How often do I win the match? So I played 100 games of solitaire and won 14 of them.
Ooh, 14%.
14%. I played another 100 games and won like 17%, then another 100 games and won like 15%. I was like, okay, I'm starting to see that this is roughly speaking, a 1 out of 6 proposition of winning a game of solitaire.
Sure.
And I kept the score sheet and I continued playing. That was a year ago or so. And I'm doing it again. And I've now played 1,365 games of solitaire, and I'm winning at a rate of 16.6%.
Okay.
And now I'm like, okay, like, what is the sample size that's big enough to really tell you? And I went back and I looked at, so that I think I hit 16.6% after like 350 some games or something.
Sure.
And then I looked at every 350 game sample, and each of them was within 1% of 16.6%.
Right.
And so it feels like, and then I was like, I remember some like polls that were done, political polls, where like the sample size was about 350 people or so. And I'm
That's
like,
right. Yep.
I'll bet that there's some statistician out there who might be able to tell us, is 350-ish data points a meaningful sample size for the middle standard deviation of a bell curve kind of distribution of any data point or data stat, or is this a total coincidence or what? But I'm curious if anyone out there has some information on this. My question is, does 350 games of solitaire give you a meaningful sample size? Or
I bet it does.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I bet it does. Here's sort of the question I have for you. Who do you think keeps more detailed stats of their own work? You or Jason Kander? Like, who do you feel like? Do you feel like your solitaire stats versus Jason Kander's OPS?
Kander's adult fast pitch wood bat baseball league stats are significantly more meaningless than my solitaire stats.
Of course they are.
So, but I would also say that I am doing this as a bit.
It's a science experiment.
I'm doing it because it's a joke. I'm doing it to because what could be more meaningless than keeping stats on your solitaire matches?
That's right.
Kander is deadly serious about his.
No, he is 100% serious.
Yeah.
He is completely, and like, I think double checks his stats. I think he'll fight. Like he'll like if he feels like he had a hit.
Yeah, he'll go to the official scorer and argue.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, well, that's really good. Well, my one last meaningless thing is this hat. And I don't know people who are watching this, I don't know why you would be, but I am holding a Cleveland hat. It's a Cleveland Indians hat. I have this hat in my garage, my closet downstairs.
Okay.
And I have not thought about it in years.
It's a classic blue Cleveland hat, red brim, red C, red serifed C right in the middle.
Yes. And it was in my closet with I have a million hats. I have a million caps. I know you have a million caps. Yep. We all have a million caps. It was in my closet with a million caps. Like I have a Skyline Chili cap here. It was right next to that. It was just and I was like, oh man, I forgot about that Cleveland cap that I had gotten. And I tried to put it on and it's way too small. It's not even like, did I get this when I was a kid?
Is it a fitted hat?
It is a fitted hat.
Okay.
And I looked inside and it has the number 18 on it because this is Dwayne Kuiper's cap.
Oh my God.
This is the cap that Dwayne Kuiper wore, and it is worn. I mean, it
Yeah,
is
it's got some
worn.
good use on it.
It's got some good use on it. It's totally, the brim is completely folded and all that. I had totally forgotten that he had sent me his hat.
Wow. Was it a game used hat?
It is a game used hat and a game used bat. I have both of those things.
Wow.
He had sent me. So the bat I've had in my office. I carry it around. I pick it up when I'm trying to think about stuff all the time.
Right.
I think about that. But this hat, I just, for whatever reason, like just threw it in my closet. I just literally threw it. This is Dwayne Kuiper's hat. This is my all-time favorite baseball player's cap.
I mean,
that he wore in games. You can look on the inside. I mean,
yeah, that's been worn by a person who has sweated a lot. Yeah,
I'll sweat it a lot. This is a fully sweated Dwayne Kuiper cap. So this thing went from in my closet, never thought about it, to my literal most prized possession, just like overnight.
Fantastic.
Which is just,
and that's why, kids, you should never throw anything away.
Never throw it. Yes, and
just collect objects and things in your house forever and ever and ever until you literally can't walk across the floor.
How much like stuff do you have in your possession that if you threw it out tomorrow, or somebody threw it out tomorrow, you would even know it was gone?
I mean, we recently had an organizer come in. Our kids are 17 and 15. We've been in our house for 15 years. We had an organizer come in, and it's one of the most humbling things in the world because the organizer would come out and say, okay, so I found 31 USB cords that are no longer, it's like USB A or whatever, that are no longer even applicable to anything you own. Yeah, right. Do you want to keep these or what? And what? No, you can toss those. Okay. And then it would be like, I have 74 empty Scotch tape dispensers. Do you have any use for these? Or, no, you can get rid of those. I mean, the amount of stuff, and we filled an industrial sized dumpster of stuff and had it removed from our home, and you can't even tell. You can't it's not like you walk through and you're like, hey, where's all the stuff? It's just gone because it was in cupboards and drawers and things that you never opened or went into.
So my question about this is, from the organizer, which is, by the way, what a delightful idea. I need to
you got to do it.
With the organizer, what percentage of time did the organizers come to you and say, do you want to keep this? That you actually said yes?
Almost never. There were a couple times when it was something of sentimental value or whatever that had just been
like a shirt or something,
or like a hat, or like a or a something that seemed like a very boring object but was actually a prop from a show that JJ or whatever.
So something that this organizer
wouldn't immediately see as being potentially valuable. Yeah. But
like that hat, like the Dwayne Kuiper hat, like this.
There's probably 100 baseball caps in your house that you would like to get rid of, and there's no way to tell the difference between those and that one. So yes, but the short answer is very rarely does that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we might have to follow this along. I might have to get an organizer to come in.
Second, one last meaningless thing. Sorry, before I go.
Yes.
I no longer have $4 in my pocket.
Oh no! What happened?
Valet. I had valet.
Actually,
valeted my car, and as the car was coming up, I was like, "Oh no, here it goes. This is my $4. This is my last $4." And I took all $4 and I handed it to the guy and drove off, and now I have $0 in my pocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen next time you get in valet?
I don't know. I don't know how the world works anymore. Nobody does. I don't know. Some places have like a QR code you can scan, and it seems very shady. And I don't believe that money is getting into the pockets of any of the people who have valeted your car somehow. I think it's going to corporate headquarters. So I don't know. I think I'm going to get $100 out of the ATM, and I'll break a 20 by paying cash for a cup of coffee. And then I think I'll have $17 in my pocket for the next 2.5 years. That's my guess.
I'm not opposed to the actually having the Venmo, like if valets or people at hotels or whatever would just wear a badge.
Yeah.
that had their
Some
specific.
people out here do. Some people have like they're wearing a
I would
thing.
be. I'm fine with that
Yeah.
because I think they would much prefer that because they don't know what to do with the cash either.
Right.
Like that guy you gave $4 to. What is he going to do?
He's going to have it in his pocket for a year and a half.
But it's heartbreaking
until he valets his car at another restaurant.
You knew those dollar bills by name.
They were my friends. We spent a lot of time together. We probably spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 months together. That was $4 to me. Yeah, it's a bummer. I was sad to say goodbye to them. And I literally thought about like rushing to an ATM and getting out money and then giving that money to the valet and keeping the $4.
You can keep your $4. Yeah. Well, it was inevitable.
Yeah.
It was totally inevitable. All right. Well, Mike, as always, thank you.
Thanks for having me.